The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brad and Kenzie on Q101. What has your partner done that embarrassed you or made you mad? Check in with us right now at 312-591-8300. This relates to what happened over the weekend. A little bit of sports convo here, but it was more just a relationship thing where Jason Kelce, who's the center of the Philadelphia Eagles, and his brother is Travis Kelce, dating Taylor Swift, of course, and news, you know that by now. And then he's
Good
also...
Lord. Yes, we do.
Yeah, and then he's the tight end for the Chiefs. So the Eagles got eliminated from the playoffs. So Jason Kelce was at the Bills game in a suite with Taylor Swift and with his wife, who he has 3 kids with, and he's just raging because his season's over. And he's
retiring.
Well, you know, it's funny. He's pulled back on it a little bit. He said, he hasn't officially retired yet, but I bet he is going to retire, all he told players. But he pulled back on those comments that he has to think about it more. So who knows?
Oh.
But let's just say,
with everyone not being able to retire? I'm going to be so good at retiring.
You're going to be ready to go?
You're not going to be like, Kenzie may have changed her mind, and be like, I'm already on a boat.
Yep,
I don't know.
He's already on an island on a boat. But he still might change his mind because it's that addiction to football, addiction to what they do, I guess. And they don't want it to end at 36 years old. But he started raging, had his shirt off. He was like Bert Kreischer, the machine out there, drinking and partying, jumping in the stands with people. And his wife, this very sweet girl, was like, get your ass back in here and put your shirt on. And he was like, you married me. He basically said when he met her, the story is, if you watch the documentary, even if you're not a big sports fan, there's a documentary on Amazon Prime called Kelce. Follows his whole life. And he met her on Tinder. And
that's so funny.
Right? And she wasn't sure. You know, he had his actual football picture up. He played for the Eagles on Tinder. And she met up with him. And apparently he got wasted and made a fool of himself. But she goes, wow, it really is him. And he said he called her embarrassed and, you know, he was with somebody.
Apologize.
Yeah, and then they started dating, and now they have 3 kids. They've been married for, I think, 6 or 7 years. It's a glorious relationship. When they were in the Super Bowl last year, she was pregnant again. They flew the doctor out there. Anyway, they have a really good relationship. But she was screaming, get your ass back in here and put your shirt on.
Understandably.
She also added, or I'm going to go buy a cat. Apparently she wants a cat, and he won't let her have a cat.
Oh, it's a great time to ask, though. If your husband's really drunk and he's like, we're not getting something.
Yeah.
When he's drunk, you just ask.
But it brought up the point of when your partner ever embarrassed you, made you mad. You know, what has happened? What's that situation? Kenzie, do you have something like this you'd like to share?
You do.
I do. What do I have?
What did you do right before Megan gave birth?
Right before Megan gave birth. I'm trying to remember the story you're thinking of because I have embarrassed myself.
You almost peed on her.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So what happened was...
What happened
was we were at the Cubby Bear for Q101 and Giovanni and the Hired Guns, our pop-up over there. And Megan was 2 weeks away from delivery. And I got too drunk, really drunk. Because Giovanni was actually buying me shots of Jaeger. He was great. I loved him. I love him a lot. And I got completely loaded. And when your wife is, Kenzie right now, is 10 days away from delivery, the husband's got to be on guard. You're like Drake's bodyguard.
You're looking for your husband at this point in time of a pregnancy to be protective, to be there, to see if you need anything, not to be absent at all, okay?
Yes. And she said, go ahead, go to the show. You're fine. It's a work thing. You got to go. I'd like to go too, but I can't. So I was supposed to have a couple beers and come home. And instead, I got annihilated. And then I walked home from Wrigley Field about a good mile, and she was concerned about that something could have happened to me at 2 a.m. I could have taken an Uber, but I said, I'll walk home. It's close. And I proceeded to go into our apartment that we just kind of moved into at that time. Didn't know the floor plan very well. And maybe it was the alcohol. And I ended up almost peeing on her. And
instead of using the restroom.
Right. And it wasn't in a situation where she wanted that, by the way.
Well, like a normal Saturday, which is excited about it.
And
this poor lady is super pregnant, could go into labor at any minute. You're supposed to spend an hour at the bar, come home and have a nice night with her.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, I don't.
You're gone forever. You come home wasted, and then you almost piss on her.
All those are the facts, sir. All those are the facts. And she let me have it. And deservedly so. I deserved way more than I got because she's a sweet.
Oh, she was so mad. Because think about this. What if she would have went into labor that night?
Oh
And
my
look
God.
at you.
It would have been
and look at you.
It would have been a disaster. I couldn't have driven her to the hospital, and we would have called an ambulance. And oh my, and then I would have been
They
in
would
the,
have needed another ambulance because she would have shot you.
Can you imagine being in the delivery room, hammered, and what the doctors everyone would have thought of you as some kind of deadbeat dad?
So bad.
Terrible.
Tristan Thompson would have looked like an angel next to you.
Yeah, not my proudest moment.
No.
But, you guys check in. When did you embarrass, or your partner embarrassed you and made you mad? Natalie's checking in from Hangover Park. Ahoy, Natalie.
Hey, guys, ahoy.
Hey, so what's your story? What happened?
So maybe about 6 years ago, I worked in an asbestos defense law firm in the Willis Tower, and we had a Christmas party, and it was up in the sky deck. It was really nice. And I brought my boyfriend. We've been together forever at that time, and it was open bar. So needless to say, he took way too much advantage of that, and he ended up getting completely hammered, and my share partner boss walked over to say hi to us, and he was just like swinging around. He had his arm over her shoulder, all chummy, saying how we have asbestos in our ceilings at the Willis Tower, but he was literally couldn't even say it. He was saying asbestos. And oh God, I was mortified. And then we had took the Metro home, and he completely passed out. And I mean, I didn't know. I'm either like, okay, you're going to stay on this train until Woodstock, or you're going to get slapped in the face to wait. So I had to like literally slap this guy as hard as I could to wake him up.
Whoa!
With people watching, and it worked.
Yeah,
that's good.
And now we're married.
And now he got him down the aisle.
Were you even engaged at that point?
No, I don't think we were. I think it was right after that we got in. It might even have been that year.
Wow.
Shocking.
I bet the next day she didn't think he'd be around much longer.
Oh, God, no. I just said, there's no more open bars at work.
Oh, my God.
That's
awesome. That just reminded me. The open bar story just reminded me. Can I please share with you something my dad did that I was like, oh, great, now my parents are going to get a divorce?
Sure.
Okay, so when I moved to Chicago, I hosted all of Alan Robinson's events because that's when he was a Chicago Bear.
Yeah.
He had a fundraiser charity called the Within Reach Foundation because, he would get the balls out of the air. It was very clever.
He catch the balls
so,
well.
Yeah. So that was the concept. So my dad is the biggest Chicago Bears fan. You don't understand. Like, he's a psycho. Grew up with a Rottweiler named Ditka. Like, he's just, everything's named after a Bears player. He's just crazy, right? So they were like, what do you charge for hosting? Or they're asking me, and I go, listen, I don't want anything. I just want you guys to make sure my dad has such a cool time at these events. And they were amazing. They gave him a football that the entire team signed. He sat with Alan Robinson's family while I was hosting.
Wow.
Very cool. So I was at Gibson's, the event, and this particular one. And it was also open bar. And my dad was having just the best time of his life.
Of course.
And my mom let him come, but she was just like, I'm like, listen, the ticket's free. Don't worry about it. Like, he's going to get his own. Because there's like a plated dinner. Like, those events get expensive, right? Well, my dad, after enjoying the open bar, starts to bid on things. And I'm like on stage, and I'm watching his paddle go up, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, it just keeps going up and up. And he's outbidding people. He's winning.
Oh, no.
He spent several $1,000s at the event.
Oh my God.
No.
And I'm like, oh my God. Because I'm like, great, separate Christmases. That's all this is going to be the worst. And so I'm like, okay. So then we go out to dinner after, because I didn't get to eat during the event because I was hosting the whole time. So my husband picks me and my dad up, and we go out to dinner where my dad continues to drink. And he's just telling stories. And I'm like, I hadn't even told my husband. I'm like, whoa, this is okay. Like, settle down. He doesn't know everything about me. And so then we come back home, and he was going to leave my apartment at like 3 a.m. for a 5 a.m. flight. Okay. And we wake up in the morning, and my husband's like, hey, I think your dad missed his flight. And I go, why would you say that? And he goes, because he's still here. And I'm like, oh my God. So I run out there. My dad's like, don't worry. I'm just going to reschedule my flight. They let you do it all the time. So he calls the airline. He goes, hey, I have to reschedule my flight from this morning. And they go, sir, you can't reschedule a flight that you've missed. Like, you have to call beforehand. And you just saw the life drain out of his face. Because not only does he have to tell my mom, hey, I spent thousands of dollars at an event when I got, like, really tipsy. I've now missed my flight. He had to rent a car to drive home.
Oh, my God.
It was... Oh my God. And like, they just lost it on each other for so long, but it's like my husband and I's favorite story.
I think a lot of these stories will involve alcohol and
open
Open
bars.
bars are dangerous.
Yeah, they are.
So dangerous.
They're also the best thing ever. When you walk in and they say it's open bar, it's like, what? What kind of
And
fantasy
guys,
land am
I'm
I?
so sorry. Before you kick me off the air, I just have to say, I always wanted to call in and say I love you guys so much, and thank you for everything. I mean, I'm sorry to get deep really randomly, but
Whoa.
my son was born this past June, and I had very, very bad postpartum depression, and I literally listened to you guys every morning, and it just gave me, like, company, when I needed it the most. So, like, with Kenzie's baby coming, it's just so special to me that you guys really saved me. Like, it just gave me, like, a presence that I needed. And, like, the music was great. And so now it's like, I never listened to the radio before then. I was just like, I need something to occupy me. Because that kid never wanted to sleep. He only ever fell asleep, like, being rocked. And I had to, do the transfer attempt.
Yeah.
So, you know how that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys are just the best.
Well,
I'm so happy I got through.
Natalie.
So are we. We're so happy you got through, and I'm so happy that you're in a better place now and that we can
Yeah.
be here for you. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it was a long road, but things are better now.
Well, good. You can call in anytime. You're our girl.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
And Natalie, congratulations on that baby, and keep the
Thank
baby
you.
keep the baby away from open bars.
Yeah, right. Don't do what your father does.
Oh.
Thank you so much. That really, really hit us deep. That was really nice.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Bye, guys.
All right, bye, Natalie. Oh my gosh,
Oh, well, she's just a saint.
I don't even know. I can continue.
I know, now we can't just be bashing each other's partners after this. She's just a phenomenal person.
That's right.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
We're talking about the time your partner embarrassed you or made you mad. 312-591-8300. And check in with this related to the Jason Kelsey situation in the football game last weekend when he jumped out of the suite he was in with Taylor Swift and his wife and took his shirt off and started chugging beers with everybody. And, a lot of these involve alcohol. But we'll see what happens with Leanne checking in from Bartlett. Ahoy. What's going on?
Ahoy! Hey, first time on the radio. Woohoo!
All right.
Whoa.
Yes. First time caller, All right. So tell us your story.
Yay! Well, I heard you talking about someone who was in labor and the husband was drunk.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was me.
So my husband, yes, I know. My husband was going out with his best friend from college, which was never, an easy night. So I had warned him. This is an important detail. I had warned him that there are some signs when a woman's going into labor, and I had said to him, please, I have a feeling it's going to be soon. So anyway, I do go into labor in the middle of the night. So it's like 2 a.m. I have to find him, make him come home. And I've also had to call my girlfriend over to watch my older kid. And she's looking at him and he's saying kind of mean things to her. And she's like, can he drive? And he was making fun of her husband. And I said, no. So I had to drive myself in labor with this idiot slumped over in the passenger seat to the hospital. We get there. He somehow, like zombies in there, he lays down on the couch and goes right to sleep. And he's sawing wood while they're checking me. And they're like, what's wrong with him? I'm like, what do you think's wrong with him? And I'm telling you, the only reason he did not miss that delivery is because it was a really long 2-day labor.
Oh, my
gosh.
That's epic.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, would you have
I
rather...
did have a beautiful son.
Would you have rather had a short labor and he missed it, or had the long labor and he got to sober up for it?
Good question.
That's a good question. Which one would have hurt more? Because I was really mad.
Of course. And you got your beautiful son out of that?
The short labor.
Amen. And then make him feel
labor.
guilty forever. That's my favorite.
Well, he doesn't have that gene, so that's why he's no longer my husband.
Oh, no.
Wait, what'd you say?
She said he doesn't have that
He
gene.
doesn't have the guilt gene. That's why he's no longer my husband.
Oh, I was going to say, how'd it work out? I guess,
Well, there you
Well, I
go.
had one more kid, and then went back to the rest of the regular world.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
so you have two
So how did
beautiful
I
kids.
do?
You did incredible. I mean, you win. There's no
Yeah,
prize.
no kidding.
You win.
The prize is that you're not married to him anymore.
no kidding. No kidding. He's probably listening right now.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
Oh, it's a great story. Thank you so much for sharing that, Leanne.
You're welcome.
And did you
Have a lovely day.
Oh, you too. Have you found a new man to help out? Anything?
Actually, you know what? I have a fantastic one right now. He tells me how wonderful I am every day.
Oh, see, it
I
works
love
out.
that.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Leanne, we love you.
We love you. Have a good day.
All right, congratulations. What a story. Craig's checking in from Lake Station. Can you beat that, Craig?
I probably can't. Hopefully, I don't drink, so I don't have like a drunk story on it. But I'm very irritating, so I did get under my wife's skin pretty bad. She was also pregnant, so her hormones were going crazy. Well, she had sent me to the store to buy, specifically angel hair noodles. And if any guy out there knows, if you're sent to the store to buy specific things, you buy it.
Right.
Well, I learned my lesson that day. I bought thin spaghetti, not angel hair noodles. He was so mad. He yelled at me, screamed at me. Well, later on that night, I had to go to bed because I had to work in the morning. She had to work at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So she got up before me. Well, she stripped all the pillows, all the blankets, all the bed sheets off the bed. Opened the windows in the middle of winter, turned the heat off. I mean, it was bad. Like, she took all that stuff to work with her. So
Damn. All
Payback's
that over the size of the noodle.
Yeah, payback's a bitch. Wow. I got to say, you go to the store there's a lot of noodle sizes. It's confusing.
I mean, I gotta be super honest.
Okay.
Thin spaghetti is a very good substitute for angel hair.
They're pretty-
So it wasn't that far from the mark.
Aren't they next in line in thickness?
Yes. Like, that would be a really, like, if they were out of angel hair, I would buy thin spaghetti. So it's not like that bad.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
He didn't come home with like elbow macaroni. You know what I mean?
He didn't get home with like a big flat noodle.
Yeah, right?
Come on, man. All right, thank you. Let's see. Kate's checking in from Valpo. Kate, ahoy.
Ahoy, how are you guys?
We're doing great. So stories of, you either or the other person embarrassed you or got mad at you, or what was the situation?
Yeah, so this is my husband. Every year, my work, we do an all-day training, and then we do a holiday party the next night. So this year, it was in Nashville. I booked my husband's flight to arrive late afternoon so that I can't trust him on Broadway all day by himself. So apparently he was a little nervous to fly by himself, so he got to the airport like 4 hours early, met some very young college kids at the bar, and he's, mid-30s and decided he could drink just like them. I spent a stupid amount at the hotel or at the airport bar and doesn't remember the flight to Nashville. The flight attendant had to wake him up when they landed.
Oh, God.
And so I go to meet him after training. He is face down, starfish on the bed. And he's like, I'm so messed up. I was like, what did you do? So we go to dinner. We go to dinner because we don't have the kids for the first time in ever. And
Right.
he is slamming bourbon, slamming them at dinner. And I was like, that's not how you drink bourbon, first of all.
Yeah, you sip it.
So we go out and we meet all my coworkers. We just got there. One of them was like, hey, can I get you a drink? And my husband's like, I'm going to fight him. And I was like, why? Because they just offered me a drink. He's like, they're hitting on you. I was like,
Oh my God.
I'm like, you know what? We can't be out right now. So I take him back to the hotel. The whole time he's walking at an angle forward because that's the way the momentum is going. I'm like, this guy is going to go face down at the sidewalk. So after a lot of zigzagging back and forth, we finally got him back to the hotel, and it was just a hot mess. So needless to say, the holiday party the next night, he was on his best behavior. He was definitely one of the top 2 spouses drunkest that night. So he got that award.
Good Lord.
I'm sorry to say this, but I love him. I love him. Are you still with him?
I mean, I do too, but yes, we're still together.
That's good. I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah, you survived that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so.
I love that. And this is something I've said to Kenzie a few times, too. I don't think, like, I get it, the state he was in, but he said he's going to buy you a drink. I'm going to fight him because he's hitting on you. I don't know if women realize what that does when some guy comes up and you're sitting there and the guy kind of pretends like the guy's not there in the way he's talking to your wife or girlfriend. And it's like, hey, yo, I'm right here. That's mine.
Well,
That's
I
mine.
mean, it was really loud. It was really loud in the bar. And so, he just came up and just asked me. And I, would assume he would have grabbed the one too. But, he decided that was no.
He probably just thought he didn't need another one, in fairness.
Exactly. The whole time at the bar, he's swaying back and forth. So everybody probably just saw that sign on him and was like, nope, he doesn't need one.
No.
And Brian, you want to know what's wrong with me? Are you ready?
Yes.
Because the second if, like, whoever was in my life was like, that guy's hitting on you, I want to fight him, I'd immediately be more interested in the guy, and that's so bad.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.